I need you to very much listen, take notes, and be on top of this. Anyways, I don't say anything for 20 minutes. Hold on. Okay. What you're going to do for next week is 2 homework assignments, because that's just the way it is, and they're short. But you're going to do 12 and 13 for next week. That wasn't okay. So. You're going to do 12 and 13 for next week. And there's things we need to talk about. And you really need to understand. But first off, database, or homework 12, uses the database QH3. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're first going to open up your homework 1011 script, and you're going to run that much of it and drop all these tables. That's step 1. You're going to refresh over here, make sure that you got rid of all your tables. Then and only then, you're going to go ahead and run QH3. If you don't do it in that order, you're going to have a world of problems. Because some tables are going to drop, not all. And then you're going to send me an email. I'm going to be like mildly sarcastic. You'll have to really pay attention to pick up on it. And then I'll go fix your problem. So really, don't make me do that. And you're going to execute that, and that's what you're going to do homework 12 on. Homework 13 works on QH4. It's listed at the top of the homework, which means you're going to go into QH3 and drop all those tables. And then, and only then, will you load all the information from QH4, which is going to take a couple of seconds, because it has quite a bit of data in it. Okay? You must do this in this fashion, or you're going to have problems. Homework 12 is not that hard nor that long, but under number 8 here it says make a second script to create the tables in this ERD. Down here, call it QH4. I do not care if you do that at all. Okay? And in the real world, in a big sense, sure, it would be really good for you to do that to make sure you know how to make tables that literally prioritize that like on the bottom of your life list. Okay? That's your homework's not going to be graded on that. So we've really only got 7 queries here for 12. 13, which is based on QH4, has some harder queries and much more lifelike and realistic queries. And so you're going to have to spend your time on those. This database has enough data that if you ask yourself an ad hoc question, you'll probably get some data back. If you ask yourself, geez, what instructors use whiteboards, you can probably get some results set back. This is the data set, QH4, that you would want to play with extensively to get yourself prepared for the exam. Like I say, this will give you, most likely, will probably sort of give you a response as long as you don't get stupidly over specific. I've got quite a bit of data in there, but it's not a ton. Okay? So now, and then look, I've got subtypes of subtypes. It's a really good setup. But now I want to talk to you about a specific thing. This part where I really do need you to think with me. Let's talk about this. I'm going to ask you questions about that, I guarantee it. Okay, remember how I told you that in an associative entity based on a unary relationship, or one table, it's the same as having cores on either side. Remember that? So course ID and prerequisite references course ID. Prerequisite ID and prerequisite references course ID. Okay, I want us to investigate the behavior of this. So I ran QH4. I'm going to run it again just to make sure I didn't do something stupid. We're going to look at this. Okay, so if I say select star from course, I get all the information about a course. I get a short name, data that I took off the website for the class course catalog at OSU. I get a course description, which is that nonsense Latin stuff, and a random number of credits, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if I say select star from prerequisite, I get the course and its associated prerequisite. So course 1 has as a prerequisite 4. Course 1 has as a prerequisite 31. 31 therefore acts as a prerequisite 2. Course number 1. Everybody digging that? Okay. So if I want to get the course information for all courses that have a prerequisite, I'm going to have to say from course, join, oh, I'm still using aliases too. Join prerequisite P on C.course ID, right? We know that has to be true. C.course ID, but the question is, do I join it to course ID or do I join it to prerequisite ID? Well, I asked for the course information for courses, so I've got to join course ID to course ID. Right? So if I say join it on C.course ID equals P.course ID, I'm getting the course information for the course rather than the prerequisite. Whereas, if I join it on P.prerequisite ID, I would be getting the course information for the prerequisite. Course 42 has as a prerequisite course 1. There's all the information about the prerequisite course. Y'all digging what I'm saying?
Can you do that again?
Okay, look. If I join course ID to course ID, I'm getting all the course information for the courses. If I join course ID to prerequisite ID, I'm getting all the course information for the prerequisites.
Makes sense. I just wanted to see the difference in the term.
Yeah, but let's start here. Right? Joining that gets me all the stuff about courses. Joining it this way gets me all the stuff about prerequisites. So if I join prerequisite where course ID equals prerequisite ID, I'm getting the course descriptions for prerequisite 1. These two columns right here are my associative entity, my courses and their associated prerequisites. That's all the course info about the prerequisite, as opposed to that, which is all the course information for the course. Course, prereq, course, it works just like this, right? And this is going to have a course ID and a course ID, but we're going to call that a prerequisite ID. So if I join this to this, I get all the information on the course. If I join this to this, I get all the information about the prerequisite. Let y'all ruminate on that for a second, because you need to understand that. This as a course, comma, its associated prerequisite. So if I join course on course ID, I get all the information about the course. If I join course on prerequisite ID, I get all the information for the prerequisite. All feeling that? Okay. So what if I want both? What if I want all the information for the courses and all the information for the prerequisites? Well, this is a case where you must use an alias. Remember how I just showed you? I've told you all semester long, if these start to get up in your head, don't worry about it. Just do another course table over here and pretend like it's a regular old associative entity. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to say join course C2. I have to call a course again. I'm going to make that second table. On. So C. All right, join all the course information to the course, and now I'm going to join all the course information to the prerequisite. I have to call the table a second time. The only way to do that is through aliases. I cannot call it from, and I call it, I can't say from course, join course. It won't let me do that, so I must use an alias. I've actually, literally, made another course table over here. I'm going to hook course ID to course ID. I'm going to hook this course ID to prerequisite ID. Now when I run this, I should have course data for both the course and the prerequisite. So let's look. There's my associative entity right there. Course ID 1, course ID 1. Course ID 4, prerequisite 4. This is actually happening. There's all my data out of the course table, the first one I called, C1. So there's all my data for the course. So I join that on course ID right here. And then here's all my course data out of the second time I called the course table, and I join it to the prerequisite ID. So that's all my course data for my prerequisites.
So management's a prerequisite for art.
I'm sorry?
Management, in your example, management's a prerequisite for art in line 1. Your prerequisites are in the right-hand table.
Yeah.
And your core is in the left.
Yes, my data for the prerequisites is on the right. You're right. And my data for the courses is on the left.
So in the first line management, it's a prerequisite for art.
But I mean, the output is just because the way I wrote this, the order of the output.
Right, but it's lined up with art.
Well, I mean, the important thing to look at here is literally that looks like the associative entity right there in the middle, right? And course ID matches course ID on every one of those. And course ID matches prerequisite on the other side of that associative entity for every one. It's a very nice visual way to see this. When you have an associative entity based off of just one table here, this whole unary associative entity nonsense going on, this is how you have to query them. This is how you're probably going to end up having to have to do this, where you call this table twice. Now, I just changed the entire nature of the game for you. Once you realize you can call a table more than once, this just took this from, oh, I thought I understood how to play checkers, to why that 80-year-old guy just beat the pants off me in such a simple game. If I can call tables multiple times, all of a sudden it goes from what you're accumulating here as a basic knowledge of queries to, oh my God, I could do all sorts of crazy, nonsensical things, couldn't I? And the answer is yes. Or you can do all sorts of things like primary keys being greater than primary keys. You can do it's super powerful language. Well, we're starting with the basics, but I want you to understand this. This reinforces all the concepts. Now, do you have questions? Because this is the nice thing about this interface. If we have questions, we can just write a little code and see what it does. And select star, gives us all the rows. We have all the rows and all the columns. You can figure it out. Yes, sir?
So you can get a third table saying courses and or prerequisite courses and a prerequisite. How would you say courses and all the courses required to get to this course.
You're confusing this with what I'm doing. However, I really like the way you're thinking. I really like the way you're thinking. Because what if, and I'm just saying, what if I was the kind of guy to ask you things like, list the course ID, prerequisite ID, course description, prerequisite course for all classes, even those without prerequisites. See, because if I were to ask you a question like that, oh my goodness, you would have to extend this basic knowledge I'm sharing with you into the realm of the left joins. So actually, your question is brilliant. I'm going to have you actually answer that for homework. Way to go! Look, what's important is you understand this. You have to understand why that's doing what it's doing. And you should. You should be at that point where you understand what this is doing, because it's not doing anything different than we did with the ERDs. It's just a very literal example of an associative entity with a table on either side. It just happens to be the same table, so we call it twice, right? And one is Andy, and one is Bob. As I can. Right? I'm just renaming them to something different and putting one on either side. And yes?
So if you have prerequisites that have prerequisites, does anything change? Or does
Well, if a prerequisite has a prerequisite at that point in the row, it's a course.
Right.
Look, look. I can't actually type that out. My lips moving, so. Gosh. Okay, so prerequisite, class 4 is a prereq for course 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, well, it's going to be a bad example, isn't it? Fine. What are the prereqs for 1? 4, 31, and 12? Okay, so 12 is a prereq. 12 is a prereq for class 2. Then 12 has as a prerequisite class 32. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That answers your question, right?
Well, I mean, so if you wanted to find like courses that are only prerequisites of prerequisites, that's what I mean. Or does that just go way
If
off?
you want to find a class that is only a prerequisite but doesn't have a prerequisite, I would probably do a subquery to find all the prerequisites, route all the courses that on a course that doesn't have prerequisites. So I want to make sure it wasn't listed a course in the course table. So I would do a subquery to get all the courses listed on the course out of that table. Then I would get all the prerequisite classes that aren't in that pile of class numbers.
Okay, but so wouldn't that also put courses that don't have like
And
prerequisites on?
And on the other side of the table. Right? I mean, what you're talking about, I would do the subqueries, literally. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you get the basic logic there, right? I want to make sure they're not on the right side, but they have to be on the, no wait, I want to make sure they're not on the left side, and they are on the right side. That would get me all the classes that are prerequisites for classes, but don't have a prerequisite themselves. Right? As long as I didn't left join anything, that would hold true. That's a good example where I can't even think of that in terms of joins. Some people are better with that, with joins, but I would just subquery it out. I know logically I don't want them on the left side, and I do want them on the right side. I can subquery my way out of that mess. Is it the most efficient query? Probably not. Other questions?
What if you wanted to know, what would the query look like if you wanted to know a list of all of the, in a string, well, not, here's all the classes that have multiple prereqs, here's the prereqs that those classes have. So you have,
Well, all right, then think about it. Let's think about it in a logical sense. You want me to list all classes and their prerequisites? But you only want ones that have multiple prerequisites? Well, then I would group by classes and count our prerequisites to make all my little, group by classes to make all my little piles. And then I would count our prerequisites and I get rid of all the piles that don't have. All right, only keep my piles that have 2 or more prerequisites. Let's see here. I really, yeah, hold on. Live demo is a bad thing, but, so let's see here. So from we want to know which ones have multiple. So group by course ID, select select course ID. Okay, so that groups up my courses. So you want to know having count prerequisite ID as greater than 1.
You got an extra Q under the first.
It's a word. I don't need the running commentary of my failures. God bless, really?
Oh, yeah. Is it prerequisite ID?
So I up on spelling it right. There, that answers your question.
kind of, the other part was, give me the list of all the prerequisites in the order that I have to take them.
Oh, no, now that's a programming function.
Okay.
But I mean, I can do this. And this is not stupid human tricks time before you look at it like, wait, can you do this?
Well, I mean, it's a real life question. As a college student, that's one of the first things that you want to understand. What am I aiming for?